everyone, and welcome to another video. If you've read the title, you guys will know that this video is going to be about my eczema journey. In Australia, it's going to be National Eczema Week in about a week's time, so I thought now would be a great time to post my healing journey. So I would say that my eczema is healed but not cured, because I feel like it's an ongoing thing that you have to be aware of and manage. I will give you guys a background of my eczema and all that stuff. If you want to skip right to the steps that I took to healing myself, then I put a timestamp in the description box below, because I know some of you guys might be really itchy and just not bothered. Okay, so in terms of my eczema journey, I have always had super dry skin from birth. So I never had like dairy when I was younger. I was, never allowed to take swimming lessons or swim because of the chlorine. And yeah, I've always had super dry skin. I got the standard like childhood eczema where you get it like behind your knees and behind your elbows and whatnot. So that was kind of like the standard kind of eczema which most people grow out of. For most of my primary school life and high school life, I didn't really have bad eczema at all. And it wasn't until I started working at a makeup counter when I was exposed to a lot of cleaning chemicals and brush cleaners and all that stuff, when I started to get a bit of eczema on my little, on my pinky. And I didn't pay much attention. It was so small and it started to spread and spread and spread. And of course I had like a cortisone cream which I applied to it, and it would go away but it would always come back. Anyway, so fast forward to maybe end of last year. I was still using topical steroids here and there until one day my mum brought home this mysterious cream in an unmarked brown jar which she got from one of her friends, and it supposedly worked for their child. And so she was like, give me your arm, I'll pop this on you and we'll see how it goes, because so and so's child used it and their skin's perfect now. And I was like, what is this cream? Can you tell me what it is? She says, no, don't worry about it. So I was like, fine, whatever. Applied it, and even though she only applied it to my arms, in a few days the skin on my body was perfect. Everywhere. On my face, on my hands, on my arms, everywhere. It was perfect. It was crazy. So fast forward to beginning of this year, and then I just all of a sudden had this huge flare up on my face, like around my eyes and my upper lip as well. And I was freaking out because I had a shoot with Benefit actually booked in for a few weeks after that, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, I need my skin to get better. So I started to use that cream again, and it wasn't doing what it did before, and all of a sudden I got a full body flare up. So it was all over my eyes, all over my like upper lip area, down my neck, my shoulders, my arms, my legs, everywhere. I was looking at my arms and I noticed that the skin on my arms didn't look like normal eczema. Like I know what normal eczema looks like, and it was literally from my wrist all the way up to here was completely red like a sunburn, and the skin would be like super hot to the touch, right? So after this full body flare, I spent a lot of time researching what the hell was going on with my body, because this was not normal eczema. And I eventually came to the conclusion that I was in the midst of TSW or TSA or whatever. So it's topical steroid withdrawal or topical steroid addiction. I won't go into it too much in this video, but if you do feel like you're going through that, I recommend that you educate yourselves. I'm not demonizing topical steroids whatsoever, but I do feel like there should be more awareness around the application of topical steroids. Anyway, so yeah, I went down a rabbit hole and I watched so many videos, and I just saw myself in so many of these people who were struggling, and it was really hard during that time. My skin condition was debilitating. I couldn't work. I didn't want to leave the house. It was really hard. Seeing everyone's stories, it really broke my heart, because some of these people had been going through TSW for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's that's going to be me. So I pretty much did everything I could. I did heaps of research, and I really wanted to find a way to speed up my healing process. The first thing I did was I went to a Chinese herbal medicine practitioner, and he's also an acupuncturist as well. So we had a few acupuncture sessions. I found that after one session with him, my swelling went down a lot. So I'll put up a picture somewhere of my hands before and after that. And it worked okay for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So I was doing the protocol, taking the herbal medicine once a day, I think it was, I can't remember. I was seeing him once a week for 2 to 3 weeks, and it did get quite expensive. And when it came back, you know, I thought, it worked okay in the beginning, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, so this is where I started to take the steps to get to where I am now. Okay, so the very first thing that I want to talk about that is very important is your diet. So a few years ago, I received this book. It's called the Eczema Diet book. I think she's come out with a newer version now, and she pretty much just goes through like different foods that you should avoid when you have eczema. So that was the first thing that I did. I had tried this diet a few years ago, and it did help a lot, but I didn't stick with it. Pretty much I avoided gluten, dairy, soy. I avoided spicy foods. I cut out coffee, which was really hard. I was literally drinking, I was probably drinking about like 4 or 5 shots of coffee a day. So I cut out coffee, cold turkey, no more alcohol, and eggs, also eggs as well. So yes, I'm reading off the list. So I had no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no eggs, and certain other bits and pieces like tomatoes I was sensitive to, spinach and kale. So in the book she talks about kind of like high chemical foods which you should avoid in the early stages. So don't be distressed thinking that, oh my gosh, I can't eat anything ever again. Like, that's how I felt in the beginning, but nowadays I'm a bit more relaxed with what I eat, and I can eat out and all that stuff. But in the early stages I was literally probably only eating charisma potatoes and baked chicken, and that would be it. Like and bananas and papaya. Those were like the main things that I ate for like maybe the first 2 or 3 weeks while my skin was trying to kind of get all the crap out of the system. And while I was doing that, I was taking skincare supplements. So Karen Fisher also makes skin friend supplements in an AM and a PM form. So this is probably like my 2nd or 3rd month of these supplements now. So the AM ones, they taste kind of like orange-ish, and it's meant to heal and repair the skin. The PM one, to be honest with you, I don't like the taste of the PM one. I pretty much just scoop it out into a spoon and just like chuck it in my mouth and quickly drink it down with water. But this is supposed to help with the itchiness at night, and it's meant to help with skin health, bone health, and collagen formation. So I would say the diet plus the skincare supplements go hand in hand, because I truly believe that if you're only treating something externally, you're going to be treating it eternally, right? Because I feel like eczema is your body's kind of responding to something that's going on internally. So yeah, those are the 2 main things that I did internally. And externally, the biggest change came when I started using Biology. So this is the BK serum. You can see that there's some left in there. When I first tried this out, I actually bought the mini 5ml size just to try it out, because obviously with sensitive skin you need to do a patch test, right? And I bought the really teeny tiny size online, and oh my gosh, the difference I saw in 4 days was incredible. So then I got the full size of this is the full size of the eye serum, but I use it all over my face. And I got the full size of the body serum, and I use that on my body. When you first put this on, don't expect it to feel like a hydrating emollient cream, because it won't. It feels very liquidy. It can feel sticky for maybe about 10 to 15 minutes after you apply it, but that feeling goes away. And I'll also say maybe it was a little bit prickly in the first like 10 to 15 minutes of applying, but that feeling goes away. And I saw the biggest difference in my face after 4 days. It was actually, I couldn't believe it. Yes, I'll use those as serums, and on the top right now I am using the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream on top of the face serum. For body, I'll just go over with just normal QV. And yeah, so that's pretty much the 3 main steps that I took to improving my skin. As you can see, you know, I don't have, well, I'm wearing makeup, but I don't have any crazy flakiness going on. I'm no longer in pain. The redness on my arms is like gone. My hands are healed. They're no longer cracked, bleeding, or weeping anymore. Oh my gosh, for the first 2 to 3 months, the amount of bleeding and weeping I went through was disgusting. And I don't know if you guys know, but if you suffer from eczema, I'm sure you guys know that eczema smell. I couldn't cope with it. Those few months were extremely dark times, but I am really proud and glad to say that I'm finally on the other end of the tunnel. And if you guys are going, or if you're going through the same thing right now, be strong. I know how hard it was, especially since it was only a few months ago. I didn't think that I would ever heal. Be strong, take care of yourselves mentally. I think some people tend to forget that eczema can really affect your mentality, not just physically, but your mentality as well, because number 1, you feel disgusting. Number 2, you're in pain, you can't work, and yeah, it's just an all-around really tough chronic illness to have. So yeah, those were my main tips. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I know that when I was going through it, I was binge watching so many of these videos, and I was just trying to find videos where people had healed themselves, just to give myself hope. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Please share your tips or comments down below. I would love to hear them. And yeah, I'll hope to see you guys at my next video. Bye.